What's up guys, it's BT here, and today we're going to be looking at the Nova 65 from Odin Gaming. Now right now in the keyboard space, there's kind of this mad dash to make a keyboard that's high quality and highly producible for the masses to get everybody access to a good board. And that's the market where Odin Gaming is trying to fit in with this $160 keyboard. Now it features a lot of things that enthusiasts want, like gasket mount, which is I believe the best mount. Okay, I might be a little bit biased there. They've got the Duroc V2 stabilizers in here, which is often regarded as the best stabilizers that you can buy. They've got two different plate materials, aluminum and a polycarbonate here, all within an aluminum case. So there's a lot to be excited about. I was really excited about this, but there's some issues and I want to talk about them. All right, so the first being this case. Now I like the smooth edges, but I don't like how you can see the line around the keyboard. It's just very unclean to me, and it's very apparent on the black version of this keyboard. The white one is there, but it doesn't look as bad to me, I guess. On the bottom, they have the plastic, the clear plastic. I like this design. You don't really see this too often. It lets you see the PCB on the bottom, but one issue that I've run into is that when you put it down on something, it just doesn't sound that good. It just doesn't sound good, all right? And then you have the USB-C on the back side, and again, just very unclean. You can actually see the gasket from one of the gaskets up here, and it's just horrible. And when I took apart the keyboard, this part caused me a lot of stress, okay? Trying to figure out how I can fit the gasket in the case and also have the USB-C poke out the back. And they made this cutout just way too big. It just looks so unclean, and I just do not like this. Just needs a little bit more finesse on the case. So speaking on this USB-C port a little bit more, and the problem that I had was that the gasket kept getting in the way of the USB-C port going through the back. So I had to take off the gasket that was on the plate and put it into the case. So if you're a person that likes to put your gaskets on the plate, you can't do it here. Okay, I really recommend just putting it within the case and having the plate sit on them. Now they have these little funnel things that go into like this like little weird cutout thing here that's a gasket. It works, I'm not sure, but it just doesn't seem as consistent as some of the other gasket mounts that I've tried in the past. Now while this is gasket mount, the plate is actually screwed into the PCB, which I do not like. Okay, because it takes away some of the flexibility of the gasket mount, which is why you would even want a gasket mount, similar to what Glorious did, and Glorious got a lot of crap for it. I gotta give them crap here too. Now they do have some plate foam in there, and on one of the keyboards, the white one, I actually took out the screws and tried it with just the plate foam and putting my Aqua Kings in there without any posts. It seems to be holding up, and it definitely flexes more than my other one that I built with the screws inserted. So I'm gonna have a lot of recommendations for Odin Gaming, so just bear with me, okay? Another one is the packaging. Now these come pre-installed with Duroc V2 stabs. That's amazing, but they're also inserted. Well, at least mine were already on the plate, okay? So if somebody were to buy this and they just put in their switches and want it to go, it's gonna sound like trash. The space bars, all the stabilizers sound rattly because they're unlubed. I would like some kind of factory lube here on these, or at least leave them off the plate so you don't have to get your keyboard, take it apart, just to take out the stabilizers, lube them, dielectric grease them, put them back on the plate, build your keyboard again, and then put your switches in. It just seems kind of redundant. I would just leave them outside of that in a little baggie so that I can do it myself, okay? Now again, I don't know if that's just mine that came like that, but mine were already pre-installed. So first sound test of the day, I left the stabilizer stock. So if you're getting this keyboard and you just want to put in your own switches, the switches that I went with were the Aqua Kings, just to see what it sounds like. So let's drop that sound test. So as you can see, the stabilizers are trash, okay? But there is hope because the keyboard actually doesn't sound too bad. The aluminum with the linear switches actually sounds very deep and rich. It's just those stabilizers, and as you can see, if you were just to buy this keyboard, it's not gonna be that great of an experience. It's definitely gonna need some TLC. So for my second keyboard, what I did was I took out the posts in there so there's more flex. I used the polycarbonate plate this time around. I lubed the stabilizers with some Krytox 205 Grade Zero lube, and I used some dielectric grease on them. And then I used the same Aqua King switches on these. So I want to see the difference between the flex and sound, and if the posts really make a difference. And actually the foam that they give you between the PCB and the plate actually helps to keep your switches flush. So it actually works to your advantage. And to my surprise, you can actually use it without the post. So I don't know why they have those in there. Anyways, guys, let's drop another sound test of this updated version so you guys can hear the difference. So definitely the stabilizers sound a lot better. So normally I like to go with the polycarbonate plate for linears, but to my surprise, aluminum actually sounds way better with the Nova 65. So if I was picking up this keyboard, I would definitely get the aluminum plate and not even worry about the polycarbonate. This is also hot swap, which is very nice for those of you guys out there that are just entering into the custom keyboard world and you want to try a bunch of different switches. This keyboard is here for you. All right, so those are my notes, I guess, on the case and the whole build quality of this keyboard. Needs a little bit more finesse. I think it's just not quite there. So my experience with the Nova 65 has been less than smooth, especially with the build of this keyboard. Then when I brought it over to my computer and I just tried to plug it in, it just started popping up different windows when I tried to type. I tried different chords, I tried different ports. It was just a mess. Just less than smooth. So what I had to do is I had to put in the VIA software that it is compatible with. And once I did that, the computer actually recognized it. But I think you have to have that VIA software plugged in before you plug in this keyboard, or else you're just gonna get a ton of different errors. I actually thought that I messed up my computer because once I plugged in my old keyboard, it started taking on the same characteristics as this keyboard and just popping open different windows and tabs. It's just a mess. It's just, like I said, it's just less than smooth. So I try to think of this from an enthusiast standpoint. I don't think they're gonna really be happy with this. And then from a newbie standpoint, there's just a less than smooth experience with this keyboard. Okay, whether that's from the installation and having to lube and dielectric grease the stabilizers right out of the box. If you're somebody that's never done that before and this is your first keyboard, you're gonna run into issues. And then once I plugged it in, having all those issues with pop-ups and stuff like that, man, it's just not good. Okay, now when I actually plug this in, I noticed that you can see the rings where the switches insert into the keycap. So these aren't that thick. Okay, I'm using these Nova keycaps that they sent me as well. So, man, it's just just a little bit of finesse needed on this keyboard. Feels like it's not ready yet. Like this, I don't know if this is like a prototype or if this is the final retail version, but it just feels like it's missing something. It just feels like just lazy design, you know, like this is just very lazy. The little gaps in between the keyboard are a little bit lazy. Like, I wanted to like this. I want to like this keyboard so much because of what it could mean for you guys out there. But as is, if I was to say, if they were to give me this and say, hey, recommend it like this, if this is the retail, I can't recommend it. I'm sorry, not right now. It needs like another version before I actually recommend this keyboard. There's keyboards that I get and it's just so seamless from the time I get it to the time I build it to the time I start using it, just flawless, okay? And those keyboards are something special. This, it just felt like this keyboard was just getting in my way of like wanting to use it in the end goal of it just sounding good and feeling good and just being able to use it. There's just so many hurdles that I had to cross to try to use this keyboard properly. So, as it stands, like I said, I cannot recommend the Nova 65. All right, it has been your boy BT. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.